What's up, good people? How y'all doing? I'm out here in Virginia on a Wednesday. It's currently almost 80 degrees. I got on a t-shirt, but I know like everybody, mama or their family said growing up, um, it's still winter though. So I still got my hoodie and everything. Once I get out of the car, once I get out of the truck, I'm sorry. Um, that's at my that's 11 hours of driving talking right there. But after I get out of the truck, I put my hoodie on. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it's an old wives' tale or superstition or whatever, but I don't know. I've been trained to think at least that if it's wintertime and you don't wear something on, then you're gonna get sick. I don't even know if that's true. But anyway, I wanted to make this video story time. I want to tell y'all about a time that I knocked over a cow fence. All right, so I am my first run out of school. I'll sign on with an owner operator. All right, he give me the keys to the truck, and he sent me on a short run to Georgia to bring take a load to Georgia and bring it back. And so, I'm nervous. I can barely shift the truck. There's a lot of things in terms of the truck that I don't know, because I didn't had go through a big company, so I didn't have a trainer or anything like that. I just had to rely on the training I got in CDL school. So, for all you drivers out there, you know that Georgia is a state that is heavily rural, and I don't know. I could be making this up, but I feel like this is the case. It lacks a lot of interstates. It has a lot of routes, like one lane road, maybe 2 lane route, but it doesn't have like large interstates like I-95 or 70 or something like that. But anyway, so I'm going down to Georgia, and I actually can't even remember at this particular point what part of Georgia it was. You know, I'm all tore up. I don't have a GPS. I use, because I when I first got the truck, I was poor coming out of truck driving school, so I lacked the tools, and I also lacked the knowledge to know what to actually bring on the road at that particular time. Like I said, I'm always the type of guy who, in a situation, I'll adapt rather than say I can't do it. So when the owner operator asked me, you know how to drive the rig, you know how to everything that needs to. And the thing is like, I know he was asking me because if I needed something, it's not like he was going to train me. He just wasn't going to give me the job. So I told him, I said, yeah, I know how to, but I just got out of school, man. I barely knew how to shift. I knew how to shift, but, double clutching and stuff like that. A lot of things that you learn on the road. So I lacked the tools to be out here. I had to use my phone for a GPS. So anyway, I go on this run down to Georgia. I had out, I believe it was like, I don't know, I want to say it was like, it's weird because if my memory serves me right, it feels like I left out in the dark, right? It feels like I left out in the dark, early morning, but it seemed like I was down in Georgia in the early morning too. So I don't know how that. Maybe I had multiple stops. I don't know how it played out. Seemed like it was so long ago. It seemed like I was a different. Well, I was a different person than back then. But I could make that run with my eyes closed now. But it was nerve wracking. So, I head down to Georgia, um, drop off a load. Um, that's what it was. Okay. All right. Now, get my memory back. All right. So I dropped off a load, and I knocked off. And this is where the early morning. The next load I had to pick up was in the wee hours of the morning. That's what it was. I was driving. Anyway, make a long story short, the reason that you have truck GPSs is because, and this might be common sense, and of course the drivers will know this, but perhaps the people who don't drive, information. This might be information to them. So truck GPSs have route info on it, and I know the regular GPS has route info, but it's specific to the truck. Also, it takes into consideration like the dimensions of the truck and stuff like that, which is very important, especially with low bridges and areas where there's weight limits or trucks can't fit down streets and stuff like that. So I follow this regular GPS. What ended up happening is I caught a flat tire. That's what happened. I caught a flat tire. Yeah, hell of a first run, right? I caught a flat tire on the first run, and the owner operator I worked for, he was a complete asshole. Like, I appreciate him giving me the opportunity to learn, on his equipment and stuff like that, and for giving me the opportunity to get a job, right out of school. But he was an asshole. And meaning that, whenever something happened on the road, he would blame you, and pretty much your first line of defense was, you were to fix it, which is nerve-wracking to a rookie out here driving, because you don't know shit about shit, you don't know anything about anything, and then on top of that, to ask me to fix whatever is wrong with a truck, I mean, it was just ridiculous. But I tell you what, I did learn a lot with that method, and it was a hard road. It was a hard fought road. It was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But I feel like, compared to, some of my counterparts or classmates who we graduated around the same time, and they might have went to a mega carrier where they were a little more sheltered, and that's where they spent the majority of their time. I was out here pretty much as an owner operator myself, right out of, because he didn't provide support, and only in dire situations where you had to kick out the money or something like that in order to go on, would he provide the finances. Other than that, you find a way to jimmy rig it and get it down the road and stuff like that. Like, that's how it was. Also, me being a seasoned driver at this particular time, I know how dangerous that is, and also how you could get jammed up by DOT for not being in compliance for stuff. So, trucking is one industry where the trucks have to be on point. Like, there's no way around it. Like, so. But anyway, to get back to my story, I caught a flat tire, and I used the GPS from the truck. From the regular GPS to find a truck repair or tire shop where I could, possibly get some help. And I followed a route, and I'm driving down the route, and it take me down a dirt country road. And I've seen enough videos and seen enough photos and people making fun of truck drivers for following their GPS into sand and following into a bridge and stuff like that. And that's I knew better. I knew that that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be the butt of anybody's jokes for following my GPS. So what I did was I Google Earth. It's like a Google Earth feature where it kind of lets you see the route before you go on. That way I could do a little reconnaissance. So, to the best of my knowledge, it was sufficient, at least the route to the tire shop. So I'm riding down this dirt road that looks questionable, that I'm following the GPS, and the road gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and I start seeing farms, farms everywhere, and the GPS was like, the tire shop is only like a mile up into this little. It was, I don't want to say a residential area because you might get the wrong impression, but it was like an area that was, it was like kind of like a mobile home area, remind me of like the hills have eyes or something like that, right? So anyway, I follow this GPS, and it lead me to this really tight street, and I'm new, of course now I know better, but I'm new, and I go to make this turn, and I take out this woman's fence. Now, what do you think I did? I kept going. I took out the farm fence, and I kept going down the road. Now, here's the thing. This is why you try to always do the right thing. What ended up happening was about 500 feet from where the fence was a turn I was supposed to make. The turn ended up taking me into a cul-de-sac, into a mobile park, where it's nothing but trailer parks and trailer homes and stuff like that in it. And I got the truck stuck. It's an embarrassing story, and yeah, I know I should have known better and stuff like that, but I got the truck stuck. And I mean, it was it was a tight little cul-de-sac to get in and get out of the mobile park, the trailer park. So I got stuck, and what I did was, I started to, try to get the truck out and everything like that. But what I did was, I got out of the truck, and I went in the closest homes that that were around the cul-de-sac. I went and knocked on the door, and not so much for help, but I just let those people know that I was stuck, and that, I'm gonna be trying to work my way out. So if you see this big old tractor trailer in here and stuff like that, and this is where you all live, I'm just letting you know that I'm coming from a delivery, or I'm on my way to a delivery back up north. I just picked up in Georgia, and that I'm working my way out. Now here's why you don't judge a book by its cover, right? So here I am in this predominantly white, they would say a trailer park or whatever down in Georgia. All right, and I knock on the doors, the trailer homes and stuff like that, let them know that, hey, I got stuck. This is my first go at it. I'm a dumbass. I pretty much don't know what I'm doing out here and stuff like that. And to my surprise, the first guy that I knocked on his door, I thought he was gonna go get a shotgun or something like that. He came back out, and he knocked on a bunch of his neighbors' doors, and they all worked together in order to help me to get out of the park. And not only that, the lady whose fence I knocked down further up the road, she joined in, and she came to me and she said, I know you knocked down my fence. I saw you out my window. I heard the fence go down. And I apologized, and I let her know I was a new driver and stuff like that. And I didn't want the information. More than anything, This is really why. Even though I knew better not to leave the scene and everything like that when I knocked down her fence. But listen to me. I really needed that job at that particular time. You know, nobody else was hiring me. That was like, for me, that was my opportunity to, you know, pull myself. You know, I had a young family, had babies at home and stuff like that, and the guy I worked for was an asshole. He wasn't the type of guy who was understanding, who would be like myself when I become a fleet owner. You know, I don't want people fucking up my trucks or out here messing up, but I'm understanding now. I know things happen out on this road, and you know, if you my driver, you let me know, you know, we can deal with the situation. But he was a jackass, and I really needed that job at the time, so that's why I didn't tell. But you know, she came to me, she said, I know you knocked down that, you know, the fence, and I told her I was a new driver and I apologized. And then I actually told her the reason why, you know, I kept going, even though it was wrong. And it's really no excuse because I damaged her property. But she told me, she was like, hey, listen, my son doesn't work. He really needs something to do during the day. So you actually gave me a task for him to do. I'm going to get him to go out and repair that fence, you know, during the day. I told her I would mail her the money. You know, I gave her my phone number, you know, and I gave her my information, and I was like, you know, if you call me, I'll make a ring, I'll send the money back down or whatever. And I gave her just in good faith. She never called me. She never asked for the money. She was real understanding. And so were the people in that cul-de-sac, in that trailer park that day. I'm glad her cows didn't get out, you know, or the fence or whatever. Now, had I not been on the schedule that I was on, and, you know, not new, that was the thing. More than the schedule, it was being new. So even if I had a schedule right now that I had to stick to, and something like that happened, you know, now as a professional driver now, something like that happened, I would offer her the money, and I would offer to fix the fence myself. But you know, back then it was just, you know, I was so nervous and intense to keep the job and stuff like that, that you know, I just wanted to make the delivery and stuff like that. But so everybody came together on that day and helped me to get out, sent me on my way down in Georgia. Because my truck was actually in the red clay, in that soft red clay down there. You know, I was really appreciative of it. And, you know, that's why you can't judge a book by its cover. You know, people help. So, that's the day I knocked over the cow fence, you know, as a rookie driver. You know, the little takeaway from it is everybody's situation is different, you know. You know your situation, but you know, had I been forthright that day with, you know, the lady and stuff like that, then, you know, she would have let me know right up front that it wasn't a problem. So the takeaway is, you know, regardless of anything, man, just do the right thing, because it might work out in your favor. And even if by chance she made a big scene or something like that day, you know, the reason you do the right thing more than anything is for yourself. You wanna have the dialogue within your head that you're a trustworthy person. You want to reinforce that to yourself. So, you know, regardless of anything or anybody, any pressure, man, do the right thing. If it's trucking or not, just in life, man. That's my little tidbits. Trucks and cigars. I holla at y'all.